So talking about autocross first, the format that I actually stepped into directly myself. मेरे लिए सब कुछ फर्स्ट टाइम था. मैं भी सीख रही थी मतलब कैसे होता है, क्या कैटेगरीज होती हैं, क्या रन्स होते हैं. 6 रन की कैपिंग होती थी. 6 रन लिए. अब उसमें से आई रियलाइज्ड दैट आई वाज स्टैंडिंग एंड जस्ट ऑब्जर्विंग द रिजल्ट्स. आपने रन ले लिया, आपने रेस कार्ड सबमिट कर दिया, उसके बाद कैसे रन के टाइमिंग्स कैटेगरी स्विच हो सकती हैं. Someone who was driving the fastest in a practice session a day prior to the championship and who was leading on the leaderboard, fastest driver of the day. That person was the slowest in the qualifiers because it was given probably the slowest kart, and the same kart was allotted to Jismer. And I realized that, and he came to me and told me that I picked up, for example, hypothetically, a kart number 4 and they're forcing me to drive 7. So recently when Muskaan participated in the Saloon Car Championship this year, in round 1 and 2 where she's doing her practice, she's doing 2 3s constant, not कि एक आ गया, constant 2 3s 2 4s. But जब उसका qualifying की बारी आ रही है, उसका गाड़ी 2 5 से नीचे आ ही नहीं रहा. We felt there is something wrong, which is a miss, and we are not able to understand.
In the car.
Then one day prior, this time what we did, we left the seat in one particular position and staring in one particular position to realize, to understand if someone's fiddling around. Then morning when we came back, seat was chedod, steering was not on the position, and when she came back from a qualifying round, we were again like कि अब क्या हुआ, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Spark plugs burnt, इसके सस्पेंशन छेड़े हुए थे. हाँ, स्पार्क छेड़े होंगे ना किसी ने. स्पार्क उसके सस्पेंशन क्लिक्स छेड़ी हुई थी. जो हमने सेटअप किया वो नहीं था. देन दिस टाइम वी मेड श्योर कि अभी जितनी बार ट्रैक पे जा रही है हमने उतनी बार चेक करना है. वी कांट रिलाई.
So now I'll shift the conversation a little bit towards what I mentioned earlier, like you're a mother of two brilliant motorsport athletes, I would say. And I'm sure while you've seen their journey and while you've experienced your own journey, आपने कुछ आपकी observations ज़रूर रही होंगी about what is happening in the motorsports space in India in general. How are things right now in India? In general, I'd like to understand in terms of being organized or being a rewarding thing as a profession, if somebody wants to take up motorsports as a profession, in terms of fairness, in terms of, regional practices, if there's a regional difference, or what has been your observation on that?
बड़ा डीप क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया आपने. इसके अंदर बहुत सारे पॉइंटर्स भी आ गए. Too many things to relate to. My own journey and experiencing with Jasmer and Muskaan. So we experienced karting world, autocross, Gymkhana, TSD, INRC, even circuit racing, Formula 4, salon cars, everything, almost all the streams. Koda plus minus har jagah hai. I would not lie. We've gone through different kinds of, like things that have happened directly to us or we've observed happening to other people. So talking about autocross first, the format that I actually stepped into directly myself. So my first event where I participated, मेरे लिए सब कुछ फर्स्ट टाइम था. मैं भी सीख रही थी मतलब कैसे होता है, क्या कैटेगरीज होती हैं, क्या रन्स होते हैं. तो उसमें उस टाइम पे आई वाज स्टार्टेड ड्राइविंग सनी दैट टाइम. की बेसिक कार थी, तो उसी में एक बुथ सर्किट पे फर्स्ट इवेंट था, नॉर्दर्न मोटरस्पोर्ट्स. फर्स्ट ऑटोक्रॉस दैट आई पार्टिसिपेटेड. तो उसमें रन लेके आए. प्रो मॉड, प्रो स्टॉक कैटेगरीज थी, है ना, 1400 to 1650. तो उसमें डाली एंट्री. 6 रन की कैपिंग होती थी. 6 रन लिए. अब उसमें से आई रियलाइज्ड दैट आई वाज स्टैंडिंग एंड जस्ट ऑब्जर्विंग द रिजल्ट्स. आपने रन ले लिया, आपने रेस कार्ड सबमिट कर दिया, उसके बाद कैसे रन के टाइमिंग्स कैटेगरी स्विच हो सकती हैं. I was a newcomer. I was trying to understand, observing. बाद में it came as a shock to me कि ये क्या हुआ, ये तो मेरा ही रिजल्ट डिफर कर गया. मतलब whereas I was on a podium in that category because someone's timing was switched in the category ki अरे इसने तो मैंने इसमें बोला था, and a senior doing that, it actually did hurt me.
So it's like you, let's say for example, you did hypothetically 2 minutes and 5 seconds, the other one did 2 minutes and 10 seconds, the results were
Swapped on the basis, and a senior was guiding and getting it done for another participant कि नहीं मैंने तो इसको इस कैटेगरी में रन लेने को बोला था, इसने गलती से इसमें डाल दिया, अब आप इसको चेंज कर दो. तो उन्होंने भी कर दिया क्योंकि जितने न्यू कमर्स मतलब आते हैं इनके भी ट्रेंड लाइक दे नॉट like no they also half of the people they don't know the rules and regulation क्योंकि वो सीनियर है, उन्होंने बोला तो उन्होंने स्वैप कर दिया. बट उसमें जब मेरा रिजल्ट चला गया तो देन आई रियलाइज ये तो मेरे सामने हुआ है. I did not like it. Of course, it started on an unfair thing. तो मैं जब I spoke to that participants, मैं इतनी दूर से आई हूँ, मैंने I did not wanted to go empty-handed. मैंने पैसे लगाए थे. Such same was me. मैं भी दूर से आई थी. And,
I mean, that's no reason.
Yeah. So, but then that was my first experience.
Okay.
And then it's just not about participating, but fair and square, you have to be alert about what is happening around as well. कि कोई किसी की गाड़ी चला ले, कोई किसी का कार्ड स्वैप कर दे, anything can happen. So it's just not about your own participation, but you need to be alert about what others are also doing.
Okay. And do you think, so I mean, clearly, so because of the incident that you just mentioned, I'm sure you have kind of prepared yourself to be a certain kind of support figure for Muskaan as well as just Meher, knowing that these things can happen.
Yeah, but मैं अगर relate करूँ again, I quoted for autocross when I stepped into the TSD format as well. Again, we've been fooled somewhere.
Okay.
As in like kahin na kahin, every format where we stepped in for the first time, there has been one incident where someone has tried to fool us. Someone has tried taking advantage and kuch na kuch galat hua hai.
Okay.
Either from the competitor or someone who's trying to guide you or someone who's doing your cars. Kuch na kuch har jagah. तो मेरा ये effort है that now someone who's approaching me, that if I have faced that person should not face it. I have to guide them right. I have to help them understand the right way, right format. बाकी जो उनके साथ होगा, that's their experience in life, right?
Of course.
It can't be the same. I wish ऐसा किसी के साथ ना हो. Money wise भी हमारे को शुरू में बेवकूफ बनाया गया हुआ है. For a TSD rally,
correct,
right?
बता देते हैं.
And the result swapping. And when kids were in karting, in a format, in a championship, where you have to pick up a slip for your cart number. कार्ट देने के बाद में मतलब उसका जब नंबर निकला है तो उसको ऐसे स्ट्राइक करके काटा मार के उसको कार्ट नंबर लिख दिया गया. And that cart was probably the slowest. Someone who was driving the fastest in a practice session a day prior to the championship and who was leading on the leaderboard, fastest driver of the day. That person was the slowest in the qualifiers because it was given probably the slowest cart, and the same cart was allotted to Jismer. And I realized that, and he came to me and told me that I have picked up, for example, hypothetically a cart number 4 and they're forcing me to drive 7. Why so? Then we got to know later that 2 carts were reserved separately for 2 kids who were getting an advantage. Again, it was not right. Why only those 2 kids were?
So basically, they were asking they had given just Meher the cart which was slower
cart.
Okay.
If Rachit Singhal, everybody knows him. He's a very good driver on karting track, and he's even won the Red Bull Championship.
Sure.
He's proven himself. He can't be slow. If he's running in a qualifier, at least he's that fast that he should have qualified in top 6. But his cart did not perform, and the same cart was given to Just Meher. अगर उसका स्लिप में 4 नंबर निकला तो आपने काटा मार के उसको 7 क्यों दिया? आपको उसको 4 नंबर दो था, क्यों नहीं दिया? And the minute Rachit का राउंड खत्म हुआ, he got off from cart number 7 only, and he said, Just Meher, what cart did you get? Sir, got cart number. Says, please don't go. I've just lost my qualifier. It is not a good cart. Refuse. Then Just Meher came and told me कि मुझे मामा cart number 4 दिया था, 7 से Rachit उतरे, and this is what he says. Is it unplanned or what? It's not right. Either play a fair game. और वो 2 carts, then I realized when I checked the records, because I was hosting and announcing for that event, they requested me to do so. Then I flipped the papers. Those carts were actually used by those 2 kids. I don't want to name them.
That's right.
But then you understand the system that there is something wrong.
Right.
Be fair, play fair, prove yourself on the track, not by unfair means.
So, like 2-3 things you mentioned about, 2-3 different ways of how there have been some unfair practices that you have seen yourself, and as well as mostly Muskaan and
Just area.
If go through that. So, according to you, what do you think needs to change, not only in terms of approach and attitude, because वो तो बहुत ही cliched एक बड़ी normal सी चीज़ है कि यार ये attitude सामने वाले का है, वो तो देखो है ही है, but in terms of, let's say, FMSCI's intervention or a central kind of a system that needs to be created so that such things cannot be done. What do you think what is it that something that can be done to avoid these
मेरे
things?
पास जवाब ही नहीं है. सच्ची बोलूँ तो last 4-5 years of experiencing different formats, I don't think so there is a solution to that, because I think it's a human tendency. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to do something. Just take it by whatever means. कि अब आज तक face कर रहे हैं. मैं मतलब how do I pacify someone on this कि ऐसा नहीं होगा, या system eradicate कर सकते हैं, change कर सकते हैं? मुझे नहीं लगता ये होगा. All I have to say is that you as a participant have to be an alert human everywhere, wherever you are. Like, for example, I've spoken about autocross a bit. I've told you related about karting. So recently when Muskaan participated in the Saloon Car Championship this year, in round 1 and 2 where she's doing her practice, she's doing 2 3s constant. Not कि एक आ गया, constant 2 3s 2 4s. बट जब उसका क्वालिफाइंग की बारी आ रही है, उसका गाड़ी 2.5 से नीचे आ ही नहीं रहा. ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? You're spending a week's time there. You're setting up the car. You're getting everything done what is required. प्रैक्टिस में 2-3 मार रही है, और जब उसका क्वाली का टाइम आ रहा है 2.5 से नीचे गाड़ी नहीं जा रही. Same person, same car, same track. We felt there is something wrong, which is a miss, and we are not able to understand.
In the car.
Then one day prior, this time what we did, we left the seat in one particular position and staring in one particular position to understand if someone's fiddling around. Then morning when we came back, seat was chedod, steering was not on the position, and when she came back from a qualifying round, we were again like कि अब क्या हुआ, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Spark plugs burnt, इसके सस्पेंशन छेड़े हुए थे. हाँ, स्पार्क छेड़े होंगे ना किसी ने. स्पार्क उसके सस्पेंशन क्लिक्स छेड़ी हुई थी. जो हमने सेटअप किया वो नहीं था. देन दिस टाइम वी मेड श्योर कि अभी जितनी बार ट्रैक पे जा रही है हमने उतनी बार चेक करना है. वी कांट रिलाई. शी इज द यंगेस्ट ऑन द ट्रैक. शी वाज 17 only.
And where was
she is competing with competitors who are double her age.
Of course.
Maybe they have driving experience which is equivalent to her number of years of age. They are that, like experienced. उतने सालों का उनका अपना driving experience है. Actually, she's a competitor. She's giving a fair fight on the track. But if they feel that she is a threat, that is that they are fiddling around. Na? So then they also tried playing with her mindset. They are, someone who tries to encourage. You understand, they understand she's young, she's a girl. So she doesn't go with that mindset कि I'm a female. So her very prominent saying she feels is that once you wear a helmet, it doesn't matter whether you're a male or a female. You're a racer, right? And she's always trained hard with Jasmeher, with Divi Nandan. He's also driving in IRL.
Okay.
And with Adit.
Achha.
Adit Parashar. So she's always trained hard with the boys. She's competed with them.
Of course.
So I've never seen her playing only in female category. But ठीक है, मतलब she understands now. We also as parents की 2 round में इसका loss हुआ. Then we caught it and hold, strong in the third one कि हमें पता है कि someone is not able to take a bet. Who's doing it? I don't know. Then complaining that she's not driving on marked tires. हमारी गाड़ी पिट से बाहर नहीं गई, दूसरों की जा रही है और बहुत कुछ होके आ रहा है. We also realize and we see. But we are not doing or even complaining or saying anything. What matters to us is our own performance, that we need to do it better.
Yeah.
जो गलत कर रहे हैं प्रोटेस्ट हम भी डाल सकते हैं या पिन पॉइंट कर सकते हैं, बट वी डिड नॉट डू इट. Other people came around and even said कि कर दो.
Sure.
We decided not to. We will, bother and care only for her performance.
Okay.
So, but this round, third round, we made sure that we are checking each and everything right before she's going on the track. And this round, she did prove herself very well. The way she lost in the previous round too, especially. So she recovered and she proved herself. So it's just that wherever you are participating, even for the TSA, like the results where people are literally fighting for the smallest of the points. अपने लिए लड़ो, साथ में दूसरे के गेम्स भी लड़ रहे होते हैं, तो ठीक है. Last 2 rallies, I just went for experience to understand. So I know what is happening, how it is, the results are being done. So we will also go back stronger next round.
Interesting. Now that you mentioned about, अभी आप बता रहे थे कि a fair bit of experience of Muskaan in Chennai, racing in down south, and all of y'all have experienced racing in North India. So I'd like to know a little bit more about, because again, I mean, I'll ask this question, but before asking this, I must tell you what I have at least noticed, not even in motorsports, but in general, that there is at a very ग्राउंड लेवल और बेसिक लेवल ना एक फर्क सा बना दिया नॉर्थ इंडिया और साउथ इंडिया के बीच में. हैव यू एक्सपीरियंस्ड समथिंग सिमिलर इन द मोटर स्पोर्ट्स स्पेस एज वेल? लाइक देयर इज अ रीजनल सॉर्ट ऑफ अ डिफरेंस, a perpetual regional difference between North Indians and South Indians, like when you go to South India or when the South Indians come up to North India. What has been your observation on that?
When I stepped in, even I heard this as कि North South का fight हमेशा रहता है. तो कहीं ना कहीं we've also gone and participated, and I don't know the points that I just mentioned, coincidentally those rounds were in South only. If that is one of the reasons, I can't say, not sure.
Okay.
Because I see it is as competitor to competitor individual fight as well. Someone who's trying to target can be from any zone. So कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ifs and buts है इसमें, but directly हमारे साथ ऐसा
कभी कोई
नहीं.
Nothing as such.
Nothing as such. In fact, when I have gone to South, we've received immense amount of support only from everyone. Like even if from resolving one thing, arranging a car to stay or whatever, few people who are fair, they've always been a good help. बाकी competitor and वो जो कहीं ना कहीं, I think it's a human nature and tendency, वो आपको हर जगह मिलेंगे. So
तो हर जगह ही
हर जगह है.
You have to literally learn to...
अगर कोई आप किसके साथ कनेक्ट कर रहे हो, vibes, positivity, so whoever feels connected is always there to help you. So look at those people. अगर कोई आपके साथ एक फॉल आउट कर रहा है या कुछ नेगेटिव बिहेव कर रहा है, तो वो तो यहाँ भी कर रहा है. So I would rather connect with someone who's good to me, like Arvind, Arjun, 2 brothers. They're into navigation as well, they're driving as well. So when we went to South first time ever. So they were a good help there. They're a good help now. So Chetan Shivram, he's a organizer and like a participant himself.
Yeah.
So always been a good help. So
and an academy guy, as a gentleman, the whole academy, Motorsports Academy.
So Angad Mataro, when we were doing, when Muskaan stepped into the national championship last year.
Okay.
So he's the one who won the national championship.
Okay.
For the saloon car.
Saloon cars.
Yeah. So he's been a very good help and a guiding angel to Muskaan. So like helping her like understand that track. So he used to take her for morning practice sessions and help her train from corner to corner, how she has to get up. So I think somewhere his help and guidance and training has helped her get well for that championship initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another thing about motorsports as a career, I'd like to ask, because you're a parent again, I'll repeat, of 2 champions and even growing further.
Yeah.
What do you think is the scope for motorsports as a career in India?
Motorsport as a career in India, I think you should just forget about it. We've been just pumping in money since last 5 years. Like they say, it's a rich man's sport. I feel so. At times, even we feel it's difficult because 4 of us participating, even I took a step back and I did not participate anywhere because both kids are participating. And a lot of money goes in. Motorsport is an expensive game. Until and unless you are spotted, you get sponsors, which is again very difficult because so many kids, with the same passion, so many kids participating in different streams of motorsports in India. Not everyone is getting that support. So, as a career, I think as long as you're ready to just pump in money for your passion, it's not that easy.
Okay. And I mean, I don't know if this would be the right question. We can always decide it. But so, like, Muskaan has been participating actively in saloon car events. Like the most recent one, if I'm not wrong, it was the one in Toyotas.
Yeah, Toyota Etios, yeah.
So just to get an idea as to, what is the structure like? Is it like one season has multiple rounds across the year, or what is it like?
So one season is 3 rounds, minimum 3 rounds for a championship, whereas the other championships, they have minimum 5 rounds, 6 rounds. Okay. So Etios Cup is basically the grassroots level of championship.
I see.
So they have only 3 rounds.
Okay.
And for 3 rounds, it was a rental of 3.5 lakhs.
Oh. Okay.
So that is for the previous 2 years. This has been the same cost. If they change it from the coming years, what they were planning, so we will get to know later once they release the cost.
Okay.
But that's not about it. Beyond that, every time we are going, so whatever, like the basics they do cover, but tires you get from MRF because the championship is the title sponsor and they're sponsoring the tires.
Sure.
Besides that, whatever expense that you want to, you have to get the work done, it's your own expense.
Changing in the sense replacing in case of damage.
Yeah. Okay. If it's a damage, because every race, every round you're going, it's a hard usage of everything. So you can't be the same performance of the same parts.
You can't.
So almost if Muskaan feels that it has to be changed, she's not getting that, that timing and it needs to be changed. So everything has to be changed. So all those parts are like additional cost on your pocket, and ऐसे हर round पे plus आप जाते हो आपके practice sessions. So each practice session is around 10,000 per round that you're going, and additional fees of 6,000 from morning 9 to 2 p.m. which is a track fee, and then evening 2 to 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. whatever the timing as per the sunset.
Okay.
So 6,000 plus 6,000. If you're doing 2 slots, it's 12,000 additional usage of the track fee.
Yeah.
And plus each practice session costs 10,000. So अगर आप एक राउंड कर रहे हो तो आपका 1-1.5 लाख ऊपर का ट्रैक कॉस्ट ले लो, प्लस आपका ट्रैवल टू एंड फ्रो, होटल स्टे, एंड प्लस यू नीड 1 car for your own, like traveling in the city. So rental for that car as well, because you can't rely on the cabs each time. You have to reach on a particular time, and you have a certain time to go back and come back.
And the practice sessions before the race, let's say, I'm sure it's a race weekend if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So like what, 1 week before race weekend you're practicing every day?
Yeah.
So फिर तो उतना हो ही जाएगा तो
अच्छा खासा लग जाता है, depending on की car बन रही है. Then those annas who are working hard on your car, they're helping you, supporting you. You want to pay them an amount as well. Though the team takes care of it as well, but they're doing additional work for you. So everything is a cost. So each round costs around, because me and Jatinder are also traveling with Muskaan each round. So it falls around 2.5 to 2.5. Hotel, stay, travel.
Additional to the race weekend. Okay. And what after, let's say, you finish as a winner, do they guide you towards what next you can do? Is there a guiding figure there that now that you've won this tournament, you can participate in, let's say, in Malaysia Touring Car Cup or Malaysia Saloon Cup? Is there something like that happening?
Not here.
Or it's just that you've won and now you come as the next one?
It's over. Either you participate in the same championship, or if you want, you can go for IJT or IJTC, or like there are other or Polo Cup on the same track that are happening, but your team is not guiding you for anything else.
Okay.
Because they are running only the Saloon Car Championship.
Okay.
Right? But I think, if I'm not wrong, Anmol is coming up with this championship
हाँ,
where
touring
he
car.
has
Yes.
certain thoughts and ideas where he's trying to build up the racers from our zone with that kind of thought where he wants to take them to the next level.
हाँ.
So that should be an outbreak for the kids who want to step into the motorsport.
I mean, of course, this is precisely exactly the reason why I was also asking the same question,
So
because we
he's
spoke
coming up
about
with a vision.
yes.
So we've sat closely and we've had discussions. So I know his vision. So anybody who wants to, step into the motorsport from this level, where Anmol is coming up with this championship.
Yeah.
And I think he's building up the Ignis.
हाँ.
है ना? Ignis car.
Correct.
On the track.
हाँ. And because again, we also had the same conversation in our podcast with Anmol, in my podcast with Anmol. That's what he was mentioning, कि यहाँ पे objective is that a person, first of all, anybody who wins that will not be able to participate again.
Yeah.
बाकियों को chance देना है. And secondly, after that,
see, he's also seasoned, he's experienced, he's been here in the industry from a participant, and he's an official as well, and plus a trainer as well. So he's seen all sides.
sure, correct.
So he's been every position in a way where he understands motorsports. So I'm glad someone like him who's trying to, bring together his experience to bring up more kids the right way.
It's needed.
It's needed.
Much needed. It's much needed.
Yeah.
But anyhow, थोड़ा सा lighten out कर देते conversation को अब. So I remember you were mentioning that the COVID period was a very solid bonding time period for all four of you. So, and I mean, all four of you used to be on the simulator.
Yeah.
What did that look like?
So, मतलब उसके पहले भी weekends are very sorted for us because, karting, all four of us were on the track. So, I was talking about me, even Jatinder used to be karting. So, हम चारों के चारों ट्रैक पे इकट्ठे ही होते थे, and I think Smash में we were one of the highest paid customers for them on the track. मतलब 3 बार तो बच्चे जाते थे weekend पे, like from Faridabad to Gurgaon, they were changed their school for golf.
Okay.
Because stepping into motorsport, they were into golf. Golf was their game, और यहाँ पे फरीदाबाद में there was no proper academy or like a proper golf course where they could have taken the training. So initially the school was changed for this point of view. So for after school they used to go to DLF Academy, Golf Academy every day for the training. But जब ये karting में घुसे तो perspective और sport सब कुछ change हो गया इनका. उसके बीच में उन्होंने ice skating भी experiment करी है. Let me tell you that. उसके लिए भी रेगुलर ट्रेनिंग्स पे गए हैं, सेशंस पे गए हैं. दे पार्टिसिपेट इन आइस स्केटिंग चैंपियनशिप आल्सो.
ओके.
गोल्फ आल्सो दे बोथ वर डूइंग वेरी वेल. फिर जब ये कार्टिंग में कूदे तो मॉर्निंग में इनको स्कूल छोड़ के आती थी, वापस लेने जाती थी गुड़गांव फरीदाबाद. दोपहर को आफ्टरनून अगेन द सेम. थर्ड ट्रिप माई अगेन टू फरीदाबाद गुड़गांव टू टेक देम ऑन द ट्रेनिंग. दे यूज्ड टू गो एंड कम बैक. सो और अगर मैं नहीं हूँ तो जतिंदर और हम चारों पे शाम को इकट्ठे जाते थे. वी ऑलवेज हैड दैट क्लोज फैमिली टाइम. And when COVID hit, it was a sudden setback for everyone, right? But thankfully, Jismer had 2 setups, simulator setups in his room. दो steering wheel थे. तो उसके रूम में sim racing पे हम लोग आपस में compete कर रहे होते. तो हमारी अपनी एक championship लीग घर में अलग चल रही होती थी. And that was such a wonderful time, I guess, where people regret those COVID days and time. Somewhere we've spent the most, like closest amongst 4 of us during those days. कहाँ मतलब it was again out of fun. कहाँ मैं कार्टिंग में कूदी थी तो they pushed me to participate in the championship. तो कहाँ हम यहाँ पे सिर्फ we were doing only sim racing out of those COVID days. And I got an opportunity to participate in INRC. I got sponsored a drive a car by Mr.
Racing.
नहीं Vamsi Mr. Vamsi Varla gave me an opportunity. Again he knew I have spotted and he wanted to bring up more women into motorsport.
Okay.
Then it was my first time because I had no knowledge of INRC, no experience. And just मैंने उसे आप dirt rally नहीं खेलते, आपको cause लेने नहीं आते, जाओ. You're playing only in the sim, go and experience in the track. Imagine that transition from playing only on the simulator to driving directly on the track. My first opportunity and my of course, मेरा जो navi था Mohit, he was a good friend, good training and guide from my initial days as well. He's been a good help always. He had already done INRC as a navigator, so I asked him, says, okay, let's go. तो हमारे लिए easy भी हो गया. Says, आपको rally कौन सा आती है? मैंने कहा, I do dirt rally, I play sim racing. It was exactly the same. The things became very easy for me. I did not require any training driving. Of course, autocross, I was driving dirt and tarmac both.
Yeah.
Right? It was just the switch was from sim racing to the track racing.
It reminds me of that movie Gran Turismo.
Yeah. So,
उसमें भी तो यही था ना. It was about Nissan.
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but these kids, they are training on, they've been playing Gran Turismo on and driving GTRs and stuff and whatnot. And suddenly there's this tournament that is being organized in, I think, Japan
Okay.
by Nismo.
Okay.
And usme they pick up people who have the best times from Gran Turismo, and then they are trained for circuit racing, driving the GTR, and those kids are just not used to the G-forces. Unko lagta hai kar to lenge.
Right.
And the moment they sit in a real GTR and they step on the gas, they're like, ye to expect nahi kiya tha yaar. Ye kya hua suddenly? So it reminded me of that.
No, but I did quite well. I felt
I'm sure.
and I like women.
मैं compare भी नहीं कर रहा.
But really, I was like on a watch and go.
हाँ.
Because you get Reiki rounds as well.
Right.
Right? So and then Mohit was a good help, good friend. So rally calls are again on my own driving style, my own basis. So like then Mohit again, he knew our family closely.
Okay.
तो कोविड टाइम से भी जब कहीं पे स्टॉक नहीं मिलता था तो हमारे घर पे ही आता था.
हाँ.
कि कहीं नहीं मिल रहा तो उसको पता है कि कहीं सब कुछ बंद है, सबका क्योंकि ठेके भी बंद थे.
हाँ.
कहाँ मिलेगा बियर चाहिए तो यही आना है.
हाँ.
तो जोतिंदर को बोलते ही L1 था, तो जहाँ पे वो रैली में कॉल देता था तो ही वुड से कि जोतिंदर जी टर्न आ गया. तो लाइक फर्स्ट टाइम L1 ना, मेरे लिए तो वो L1 है. So तो पूरी रैली में we would laugh जब भी L1 टर्न आता था, we would have a good laugh. So later on when we came back home and we told Jatinder, says like, तुमने मेरे को L1 ही बना दिया.
So tell me a little bit about, I mean, you've spoken all about the race events, the motorsport events and the feats that Muskaan and Jasmer have had, but as a parent, which are those few trophies that, you know, have a very special place in your heart?
So many of them. To begin with, my own Red Bull's first win that this one.
Okay.
From the first karting national championship that I have.
Okay.
So this one, then Jasmer and Muskaan's first national karting 4-stroke national JK Tyres 4-stroke national karting win.
Okay.
The proudest moment when they both shared the podium together. Well, सोचो अगर 3 winners खड़े हैं तो 3 में से 2 मेरे बच्चे हैं. Could not have been the better moment to just celebrate it.
Mm-hmm.
Then many a times me and Muskaan have shared a podium. Those moments have been special. Then Jasmer and me have shared. Jasmer and Muskaan have shared. Like, you know, it's been because we all are into the same sport. We are sharing the car. Baki people are also competing, but when we all, you know, we are together, 2 of us.
ये बहुत rare है.
Positive.
मैंने भी बहुत, I don't think I've ever heard mother and a child standing on podium.
Yeah.
मतलब एक तो होता है कि हाँ फादर बिजनेस चला रहे तो बेटे ने हैंड ओवर ले लिया, बेटी ने ले लिया. पोडियम पे दोनों जन खड़े हैं, वो रेयर सुनना.
I take both of them as my trainers, right? Like I'm like my seniors in the sport, so I give them the same respect and regard. So our ratio is very different. Like than just being a parent, they're more like my friends. That's how I treat them. So I enjoy that time and the moment. And yet the best ones from the national championships for both of them. From the karting, of course, and then for Jasmer's national autocross win. And then when he got awarded for, say, Muskaan has it from the Outstanding Women in Motorsports. That's like a precious trophy. And then for Jasmer's FMSCI's national championship trophy. And then the most precious, like which I cannot miss out on sharing, his Asia Pacific win in Gymkhana from Taiwan. So I love that medal. It's such a beauty to hold in hand. You know, of course, trophies are big. Unka apna ek importance और अपना एक place है. So even if it's a handheld medal, it's got its own importance and value.
वजन होता है उसमें.
वजन होता है. I really feel you should just touch it and take the feel of it. कैसा लगता है? So I wanted to actually touch and feel it. You know how it feels. Just hold it.
Wow. भारी है actually.
It is.
But I think you're right on that front. You compare trophies with medals, na? I don't know. I just like medals in general.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, like...
मुझे बचपन से बड़े कम मिले हैं ना actually.
नहीं, मुझे तो बहुत मिले हैं. In fact, Jasmer and Muskaan, they both have been multi-talented and been अगर आप इनकी फाइल्स की कोई सर्टिफिकेट्स की वो फाइल देख लोगे तो दोनों कितने मोटे मोटे फाइल्स हैं एक्चुअली. They have been like participating everything from painting, dance, singing, competition, debates, like inter-school. कोई ऐसा नहीं है जिसमें दोनों के नहीं होंगे from the beginning till now. Jasmeer has won multiple awards. Muskaan has won multiple ones. Jasmeer even won it in that best movie making awards. All Delhi NCR schools. Consecutive 2 years he won it. So they have been experiencing whatever they wanted to.
Multifaceted. It's quite multifaceted.
I was an all-rounder myself when I was in the school. मेरा grade 12 का title वही था, Miss All-Rounder. And in college, most enterprising student. So I see traits of me in both of them somewhere कि हाँ, both are creative. है ना?
Oh, of course. वो तो
Of course, Jitendra के कुछ traits होंगे that you can ask him when you speak to him. But I feel कि कहीं ना कहीं they both justify me. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Acha, earlier you were talking, when you were talking about the association and motorsports events and all of those things happening, that got a question in my head because being a steward or being an FMSCI steward, it is an important job, of course. But I think there are so many people right now in the motorsports, not in the fraternity, I would say budding motorsports athletes who probably would want to get into the association or probably, how should I say it? They want to be policy makers or policy changers. So what would that process look like if somebody wants to get into the FMSCI body and become one of the policy makers? उसके लिए क्या होगा? उसका action plan क्या होगा?
I think they should start with volunteering as the first thing. Start with, like collaborating with the organizers when they're doing events. So FMSCI does host trainings, and in between they do have, competitive exams, like for the posts that they open up. Like recently they had a scrutineer's exam and then a steward's training and exam as well. So someone who's interested, they can undergo the training and they can go through the process of appearing for the exam, and the licenses are issued accordingly. And someone who wants to start at a lower level, like from the scratch, wants to understand how the things are done, I would suggest start with volunteering, start with marshalling and give support. So once you are there, you start processing what the game is, what that, that particular stream of motorsport is. Not just one, or do that volunteering in different kinds of streams of motorsports, can be F4, autocross, TSD. So all of these organizers do need help. So if you are there, you get to learn and know about the sport, and that gives you understanding, right?
But if you want to volunteer and marshal an event, uske liye, are there some prerequisites that you need to have? Yeah, uske liye you can just sign up and do it.
Yeah, you can sign up and do it. Most of these organizers, they do, extend the basic understanding of the post that you're holding for that day.
Okay.
They give you the mandates, how to follow, what to do.
Okay.
The do's and don'ts, basically. Jiske basis pe sare, that can be on a timing, that can be on a TC check post, or maybe a flag, where one of the corners where they're holding the flags. Can be any duty. So maybe like on the registration desk. So there's so many roles, so many ways that you can just associate yourself if you're not participating, but you are still interested. I've seen, of course, the budget does hit everyone. You can't participate, right? But you still do have that interest that you want to be associated. That is the best way. So I've seen people who are there as spectators. At the same time, they're involved as volunteers and marshals, which makes them stick to the game.
Okay. One last question. Let's say tomorrow I make you one of the policymakers, chief policymakers of the federation, FMSCI. What would those 1 or 2 changes be that you would immediately focus on and make in, to improve the situation of motorsports in India? वो 1-2 changes क्या होंगे जो आप करोगे if you were the policymaker?
But I think that would be a dream for anybody. अगर एक दिन के लिए, जैसे like you do have those movies also ना, person in power,
नायक
है ना, नायक, कुछ ऐसा सा आ गया तो फिर it's like where we have faced so many times an opportunity given to those who truly deserve it, and not to the ones who are either playing some other way. I don't know what makes the things go happen. I would not say that not my kids did not get an opportunity. They did. But somewhere where they were more deserving, it was snatched from them at times. So that does pinch So even if, for example, Muskaan won the 3 rounds that happened in India for girls on track, her opportunity to represent India at Ferrari Drivers Academy was taken away from her and someone else was sent.
Oh.
So we had, like, of course it is hurting, it is pinching. She was a deserving child. If the qualifiers happened and those 3 rounds were conducted, she emerged as not a second, third, but she was a clear winner, first in all 3 rounds. Yet someone else was sent. So if I get a power, not just her, I would like to spot those kids who are deserving, who are performing well, and those kids can be promoted and highlighted and given an opportunity to grow further in the sport.
Have you sort of thought of a structure that you would create to be able to effectively spot the talent? क्या structure एक create कर सकते हो जिससे कि talent आपका spot हो जाए?
Like you just threw this question on me, so if and the way I've experienced all the formats, somewhere if I can bring up a format where like one event where not just autocross but the other formats are also running parallel, like just like you see events happening outside. India is lacking one in the sense of these organizing groups in a way. जैसे जिमखाना भी होना है, लेकिन जिमखाना के 2 साल 3 साल से qualifiers कोई हुए ही नहीं है. Right? So like a format where just not the autocross or drift but a gymkhana parallelly being run, karting, slalom being run, where when these options, the form comes up every year, कि karting slalom के लिए किसी ने represent करना है. So उसके लिए पूरे यहाँ पे qualifiers हो रहे हैं. किसी को randomly उठा के out of the blue सिर्फ क्योंकि जान पहचान है उससे नहीं भेज दिया गया, या ऑर्गेनाइजर्स को जिसका पता है उन्होंने अपने मन से नहीं भेज दिया. A fair candidate who deserves has to be represented, right?
Of course.
So that's the way I think, and I would want to bring up such a system जिसमें ऐसा कुछ हो.
Selection process एक हो.
Selection.
Legit selection process हो.
True.
Perfect. What do you think is your future in motorsports? क्या plan है आपका?
I started very late, तो मुझे तो लगता है I'm still a learner. So I'm experiencing every format. I think now I feel like that the time and age is on my side, where I feel that I'm doing and I want to do what I want to. Like being a girl child when you're born, ये नहीं करना, वो नहीं करना, यहाँ नहीं जाना, उधर नहीं जाना, अकेले नहीं करना, है ना? फिर उसके बाद आप you get married, you adapt to the culture and ways of the new family, you have kids. तो आप अपना कब कर रहे हो? When do you get to live life? तो this is my time, my life. I'm doing what I want to. And you laugh. When I went for the first INAC qualifier, तब चंडीगढ़ में होता था. TCAS used to organize. So travel twice and thrice. So every time I was never allowed to go alone.
Okay.
So every time my car, मेरे साथ एक ड्राइवर जाता था, मेरे सारे फ्रेंड्स खुद गाड़ी चला रहे होते थे. यार मुझे भी कुछ जाना है, एंड लाइक मैं स्टिल मेरे को एक बॉडी गार्ड कह लो, ड्राइवर कह लो, अकेले नहीं जाना. So I think first time ever that I traveled to Jaipur for the desert quest all by myself, and this
अभी
चंडीगढ़ रहने पहली बार. These are like पहले मैं और मुस्कान like a mom and a daughter trip, we did go to Jaipur. Of course she was with me. तो ये मेरे पहले 2 trip of my life that I feel happy कि मैं चंडीगढ़ तक अकेले गई, वहाँ से कसौली से वापस. So I'm an enthusiast myself. I love to drive. But when you have someone, it's a different like mindset. When someone is always feeding you, ये क्या कर रही है, वो क्यों इधर को left में, whatever. So this was me. I enjoyed it and I completely just cherished every single minute of it.
Yeah. Chalo, interesting. I think it was a great conversation. And as I always say, this is not the last conversation. As I evolve, as you evolve, there will be more questions. As you have more experiences, I will keep on asking you about those in detail. अभी तो मुस्कान और जसमेहर का और सर का भी podcast pending है. And it will be an absolute joy, I think, to know from them about their experiences, considering their seat time has been quite immense. उनके experiences जानने में मेरे को, I'm really sure, not just myself, there are so tons and tons of people out there who will really be inspired by, having a conversation with Muskaan and Jasmeher for the way they are moving up the ladder.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, thank you so much for today.
Pleasure. And you just said it, you summed it up just with the appropriate word for me. That's absolute joy. That sums up me and my life. AJ, Aman Jubbal, and that's my other page name, AJ Absolute Joy. So, of course, Jasmine and Muskaan are doing very well. We are, as parents, we're trying to channelize them as per our budgets and what best they can do
Of course.
in that. And then at the same time, like anybody who feels that, they need any information, any guidance, or any way of, how they can go further in the sport, we are happy to guide them and connect them through.
I think, although I'm a very young parent right now with a 2-year-old in hand, but I would still say it, you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much for today.
Pleasure.
Thank you.